I'm Robert Dutt for channelbuzz.ca, joined today by Stefan Bockhop, Director of Channels for Lenovo Canada. Stefan, thanks for taking the time.
Hey Rob, thanks for having me. Always wonderful to see you.
I wanted to continue, we ran a video last week chatting a little bit to your colleague Don Frame about the hyperconvergence market. Wanted to drill down a little bit more with you, and maybe let's start with sort of where you see the Canadian market for hyperconverged right now.
Yeah, I'd say, hyperconverged is one of those markets where if you go back, 2-3 years ago, and you were going to get a meeting with a customer, and you would say, let's talk about cloud, right? It was a very general term, and that would usually be of interest enough because it was something hot for a CIO or something hot for an executive to kind of say, I want to talk about that. Well, hyperconverged, I feel, is the new kind of hot topic to talk about, and not without foundation. Customers have decided they like the agility, they like the benefit of that kind of, I can do what I want, I can scale as I need, it gives me the technology I need, but not more than I need right now. And so that kind of scalability, that agility, is really what hyperconverged brings to our mutual customers in the market. So it's very hot, it's projected to grow kind of at a larger rate than any of the other kind of compute storage segments in the Canadian marketplace. And so it's a great time for our partners who have access to this technology, to the vendors who deliver this technology, to go and have conversations with the customers, say, look, you probably have some thoughts on this, you probably have some workloads or some strategies on what you're going to do. So I think it's a great time to be in the hyperconverged business, and I'm excited, kind of Lenovo's partnering with some of the leading firms in that space in the Canadian marketplace.
All right. For your partners and for the hyperconverged industry in general, I would say to this point, the play has largely been going deep with a very few kind of specialist partners. Both as I mentioned, the folks you were working with and the industry in general. Lenovo, obviously a significantly larger tent in terms of a channel community. Yep. Can you talk a little bit about kind of taking hyperconverged to the broader channel community, as it were?
Yeah, I'd say, so one of the things that we may look attractive to companies like SimpliVity or Nutanix is that I do have a fairly large sales force. I have a sales force that is by and large selling to enterprise and large format public sector. That is our kind of stronghold, our strength in the commercial space, especially in the client space. And so you have a sales force that's very familiar with these customers, knows the customers' ins and outs, both the kind of IT house and some of the line of business houses. You marry that with this technology that says, hey, we can do things, I'm going to say cloud-like or public cloud-like, but on-prem with the same agility, with the same flexibility. That's a very interesting opportunity for both us at Lenovo to expand what we're selling to these customers, as well as for these kind of hyperconverged vendors to go and say, hey, here's some customers maybe I couldn't access with my workforce, with my partner community, but by extending that conversation to a wider partner community, wider sales community, I get more access. So it makes a lot of sense. It's one of the reasons we use a channel-first model to go after customers, as it expands our reach. I think these vendors look at Lenovo and our channel as a way to kind of further extend that reach to the market. And I tell you, I'm excited some of the early successes we've had. We've got a few under our belt. Tremendous response from the customers, tremendous response from the partners, a number of different partners engaging in these different hyperconverged solutions. So it's a whole kind of new greenfield of revenue for us at Lenovo, because frankly, we're sometimes replacing workloads that weren't a traditional Lenovo or an IBM System X workload. Sure. We're displacing maybe some storage vendors, and so that's a great white space for us, for the hyperconverged vendor, and in some cases our partners breaking into a new part of that customer segment.
I know it's obviously early days, but what are you seeing as the kind of skill sets, the kind of things that you'd like to see in a partner in that hyperconverged space, or areas that partners should be working on to build that business?
Yeah, I'd say the wonderful part about this technology is anywhere where there is a need for a flexible and a scalable infrastructure, either driven by increasing needs for data, increasing needs for endpoints like VDI, increasing needs for compute. These technologies work wonderfully in that space, and with the just explosion of kind of data, of analytics, it means there probably isn't a customer or a segment or a vertical that doesn't have some kind of application. The deployments we've done are all over the place. We've done some municipalities, we've done some transportation companies, we've done some kind of traditional, I'm going to say large financial institutions. So there doesn't seem to be, hey, if you know a X-type firm in Y-type vertical and you can do, G-type workload, this is for you. It's a very broad application because of that proliferation of data. So I'd say the type of partners that we're having success are the ones, frankly, who are curious and so are having these kind of open-ended discussions, having these new style of IT discussions. And frankly, a lot of these are coming from line of business conversations versus the traditional kind of IT stack conversation. So that partner who's able to look left, look right, I use that term a lot, in the accounts we're already in to say, hey, is there other stuff that's going on that maybe is appropriate for this type of activity? That's where we're seeing a lot of success.
All right. And can you talk maybe a little bit on what you guys are doing in terms of enablement, in terms of building skills on that channel, especially since this is a solution that includes yourselves, includes partners. It's sort of some multiple players in there.
Yeah, so I must say that hats off to our hyperconverged partners. They've done a great job of making their enablement programs, their training, both technical and sales, available to our broader channel. And so, hats off, kudos to them to make that available to our partner community so they can really get a feel for what am I doing, what's the opportunity here. Their technical teams and our technical teams have done some kind of good knowledge transfer, some deep knowledge transfer, and when there's an engagement, we get a very solid engagement at the customer opportunity level. And because Lenovo is a fairly robust kind of from a channel infrastructure point of view, we're able to leverage kind of our deal reg tools, some of our programmatic tools, our excellent distribution channel to kind of deliver not only the programmatic stack for these activities, but also marketing, awareness. We've run a number of sessions where we've invited partners or customers to come hear the message on this technology. And every single one of them has resulted in both a strong pipeline and in all cases but one, which just ran a little while ago, we've already seen deployments come from those. And that's wonderful seeing a channel organization where you sometimes run an event and then you go, are we ever going to get any revenue from this? These are bearing fruit very quickly. And so, partners, distributors, and the vendors themselves are all very happy with these type of engagements. So it's been really good. I'm looking forward to, multiplying it by 10 and seeing how the year goes.
It's a rapidly evolving space, and thanks for taking the time to discuss.
Absolutely. Thanks, Robert.